family. And if you are new to this channel, karibu sana, you are very much welcomed. My name is Africa Nadoyo, and today I want to give you a very amazing content. So with me here I have my guest. He will come and introduce himself.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Augustine Chibuzo Galagash. I'm a Nigerian and I am taking math physics, a 4th-year student in Tangaza University here in Kenya. And like she has mentioned, we have good content on YouTube. I also teach math and physics online. You can find me in the Google, just type Ash Galagash, or in the YouTube, Chibuzo Math Physics. So it is my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, you are very much welcome. So guys, today we want to talk about culture shock. I am from Kenya and he's from Nigeria. So we want to talk about culture shock. He's going to tell us the culture shock he has experienced in Kenya rather. Like maybe food, housing, entertainment, and so much more. So let's get into it.
Now, talking about culture shock, there are so many shocks I've experienced since I entered this country. Actually, I visited Kenya. The first time I was in Kenya was in 2018, and in 2019 I got admission into Tangaza University to study education, math, physics.
Let me cut you short. So you came in 2018,
yes,
and then you stayed there for what period?
I was here for 1 year during some formation program, and after that I went back to Nigeria because at that time I don't have admission into the university. I finally got admission in 2019. Yes.
Okay. So let's start from there. When you came to Kenya, you can start maybe from the airport. What is different from our airport with yours?
Yeah, in Kenya airport at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, there are some similarities we can compare to the airport in Nigeria and to other airports I have seen before I reach here, because I have also used Ethiopian airline, even Rwanda airline, and finally I'm using Kenya airline. I can say that the hospitality that was there in Kenya airport was good. They were welcomable, they were hospitable, but like you know, when you go to a place in the new, you are experiencing new things, and because of the type of place I am from, Nigerians always have this kind of notation that when you are from Nigeria, they want to search you, they want to make sure that you are okay, you are not yeah, those type of things. So I was searched and massaged and all those kind of things at the airport, and then finally they know that I came on legit way, and then every other thing went smoothly. I can say that Kenya airport was a bit good compared to some of the airports we have in Nigeria. Although when we go to Abuja International Airport, the one we have in Abuja, I think it is on the same level with what we have in Kenya.
Okay, nice. So from the airport, okay, first of all, how would you rate our services in our airport in a scale of 1 to 10?
Let's say 7.
7. And 7. Your country?
My country, 8.
Okay, we'll know where the word is coming from. Yes. So, from the airport, let's go to the road. How did you find our roads?
Yeah, the roads are okay. Like I can say that Nairobi's road is good, the major country. But having been in this country for years, I can say that the good roads are in Nairobi, because Nairobi is the capital. Because I have been in Nyeri, I have been in Machakos, I have been in Nakuru, I've been in Mombasa, and I cannot tell you that some places in Mombasa don't have good roads. There are some places in Pipeline, which is the outskirts of Nairobi, that also don't have good roads. But if you are in Nairobi, metropolitan Nairobi, which is the capital of Kenyan city, you will see that every street has a good road, every street have good access of water and electricity. So another thing that I cannot rate Nigeria in times of Kenya is power. Even though Nigeria has historically been the one supplying power to other countries.
I'll have to cut you short again.
Okay.
In terms of road, you are saying, okay, just give us your from your perspective, Kenyan's road and Nigerian roads, which ones are better?
I can say that we are measuring. It is on the same level. Power, like I was saying, Kenya, in terms of power stability, is more than Nigeria. Nigeria, we don't have constant electricity in some places, except in those staying in the capital cities. They can boast of seeing electricity always. But here in Nairobi, there is always electricity every time. That is, it depends on you. If you have paid your bills, or if you are using token, for instance, you are able to access electricity at your own fingertips. But in Nigeria, the case is different.
Do they do rationing every day? Because someone told me that maybe you can wake up in the morning, there's no electricity up to maybe 5 or 6.
It can even happen that you don't have electricity for 2 days in some places in Nigeria. Yeah, this is the country we found ourselves. Of course, it's not because we cannot attend electricity. Nigeria actually supply electricity to Ghana, to other countries nearby. I think it's just all about corruption, and I hope that as Nigeria go to their elections come this February, that there will be a new change in terms of power sector.
Yeah, let's hope so. But because you people use many generators a lot.
Yes, there is generator, and I think that's where the corruption is. The people who are manufacturing that generator tend to pay the government, so that government are not able to generate electricity or give constant electricity. Because when there is constant electricity, it means that that business will go down. So this is just the logic behind no power in Nigeria. So I think it's about corruption. And when Nigeria is able to deal with that corruption, they will ascertain a kind of constant power than what they have right now.
Okay. So next, let's go to housing. How do you find our...
Yeah, houses here, when I entered this country, there was a bit shock in terms of the way you construct your houses. Just like Nigeria, we can say that even in Kenya, different people have different patterns of way they build their houses. Maybe the company who is doing it. The thing is, the houses in Kenya, they don't really tend to do more of painting. For instance,
is it from the outside?
From outside. For instance, you can look at this school, for instance. You can look at the buildings we have around here. You can see that the buildings in this compound is not painted from outside, and most of them are not also painted from the inside, and which is uncompleted in Nigeria. For us to complete your building, there must be that paint, so that people who are seeing the exterior part of it will be, the eyes is always the first to see, and when the thing is attracted from the outside, we can say that even the interior will be good. But apart from the painting part, I think the inside is always okay. The building and housing in Kenya is quite compatible with that of Nigeria.
Okay, and in Nigeria, do you have more standalones than maybe apartments like we have here in Kenya?
Yes, we have apartments like the way you have here, especially for those who are building to lend other people. You build different apartments. You can, although we call it self-contained, so that those who are in school are able to access it. It is just the same like we have in Nigeria.
Okay, so let's talk about rent. I heard that the way we pay rent is very different from Nigeria. How do you do in yours? For us Kenyans, we pay rent monthly. And you guys?
Yes, let's say that for Nigerians, in most places we don't really believe in paying rent monthly. We believe that if you are looking for a house, some places will collect you a minimum of 1 year. Some will say 1 year, 6 months, so that when you pay for a year, you know that you have settled your bills for the whole year. And then after that year, you will pay now for another year. Or even if you want to leave, you can leave. Even if you have paid for 1 year and you don't like the place, you can as well leave. They will refund, but you have to notify the landlord, and your reason for leaving must be justifiable, because there are reasons for there is an agreement you have entered before you moved into the compound. So you have to make sure you are not the one breaking those rules. If you are the one, maybe it will become difficult for the landlord to refund you. But in Nigeria, we don't pay rent monthly except on some discrete cases.
Yeah.
Maybe the landlord is the one who decides so. But in some other
It's
places,
monthly, yeah.
in some other places, rents are always paid per annually.
Okay, and in terms of costs, maybe you said you pay yearly.
Yes.
Maybe if you narrow it down to a month, is it more expensive as compared to Kenya?
I think Kenyan houses are more expensive compared to Nigeria. One, we can say that we know that Kenyan currency in terms of value is more than Nigeria. 1,000 Kenyan shillings is equivalent to 3,500 Nigerian money, which is like 3,500 naira. If you take 5,000 Kenyan shillings, that will give you approximately 20,000 naira. But you see, for instance, the houses in Kenya, if it is a good house, a good apartment, let's say one bedroom apartment, you pay around 10, 12,000 per month. But
It also depends on the location.
yeah, it depends on the location and the facilities within the house. But in Nigeria, for instance, you can get a one-bedroom apartment for like, let's say 10,000. But you see, the 10,000 Kenyan shillings or 20,000 you are paying for that room here, it is equivalent to like 30, 40,000 in Nigerian money. So me paying 10,000 here and somebody paying 10,000 in Nigeria, I think I'm spending more. Because 10,000, when you change it to Nigerian money, is around 30,000. Yes.
So let's go to maybe entertainment, like clubs and these social places. What is the difference, like the big difference?
The clubs generally are the same. Entertainments are the same.
Then the difference is the music, of course.
The music is different, but we know that Nigeria in terms of entertainment is higher than Kenya. We can look at the entertainment industry, like the Nollywood, the actors, and all those things. These are the same patterns that is being replicated even in the clubs. Kenyan clubs are just there are some good clubs in Nairobi where you can go and then maybe there will be dance at night and all that. But when we compare those clubs and what happened in some clubs in Nigeria, like in Lekki City in Lagos, Lagos was the former capital of Nigeria before it moved to Abuja. So now when we compare and do comparison, I think in terms of entertainment, Nigeria is a bit higher than Kenya.
Okay, nice. So next, let's go to maybe dressing code.
There is a lot of dress shock when I enter this country because you see in the universities here they don't like something you wear trouser that is a bit tight.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that there is that space, which is a bit shock for me because as a young man and as someone who is still at that age, we need swag. But in Kenya, swags are not accepted.
No, it's accepted. It depends on where you are. Like now, when we are in school, it has its own rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Because here, like us, we are in teaching profession, so we are expected to
dress properly as professionals.
Dress formally, yes, professionals. But when you're outside there, how do you find people's dressing code?
When I'm outside there, I think the dress patterns are not that difficult. Yeah. They are not like different the way we are dressing in Nigeria. It's just a matter of the same dress code. But professionally, that's where you will see different because even a suit, you see, as a young man, I don't want to wear oversized suit. But in Kenya, you can see young men dressing with oversized suit. And those suits, when you dress like that, you actually look old on it. Yeah, but I think for them, that is more formal and professional. But for us, it is a bit uncivilized and primitive to dress in oversized suits.
In terms of traffic, is our country smooth?
Your country is smooth, but not to all aspects of it. Because I also have experience in driving in this country. And I know that one thing about Kenya if the police are there, people tend to obey the traffic rules. But if the police are not there, people violate those rules. So we can say that it is the same thing happening in Nigeria that is happening here, because we are all African.
Okay, guys. So lastly, in terms of food, yeah, let's talk about food a little bit.
Talking about food, that is a great issue. There is this adage in the Igbo language, even in general language, that if you want to get a man, it is through his stomach. But I can say that one of the greatest shock that I have ever had in Kenya is that of food. One, I can say that Nigeria have got more food delicacies than varieties than that of Kenya. Kenya, we have maybe we have ugali. Ugali is a maize. I was saying that the greatest shock I had, I'm still having in Kenya, is that of food. Kenya have got two major foods. That is ugali and rice.
Not really.
I know you have. I know you have a variety like chapati, gideri, which is a product of. But you see, gideri is a product of maize. You just peel maize and then you join it with beans. That is not a combination.
But
for
it
me.
Also depends with how you cook it.
Yeah, I understand. It depends on how you cook it, but it is quite an odd for you to call maize a different kind of food, because we have maize in Nigeria. We don't join maize and beans that way. Although to some people they can do it.
But I've seen some people, they chop the maize into pieces, then they put inside food. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that one is true. Some people do that chopping and then they are able to combine it. And they make their own food. But generally, the food shock is high in Kenya for a Nigerian, a typical Nigerian that have come to Kenya.
Yeah, and I also know in Nigeria you cook with a lot of pepper.
Yes, we cook with a lot of pepper because that pepper actually make you to have the texture, to feel the food you are eating. When you eat something, you should have a feeling. You should actually see yourself, I am enjoying this food.
But you can also enjoy those pepper. Like there are some people who don't eat pepper at all because they find it a little bit
Now let's see.
bitter.
Let's say that we are talking about food.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, for instance, if you are from the Igbo side, we know we have fufu, which is like ugali here. And then we have gare, which is also another kind of food produced using cassava. Now, that gare is a different kind of flour you can prepare differently like fufu. And now we don't just take those type of thing like that. We take it with accompaniment, that is soups. We have in Igbo we have got owa soup, we have got vegetable soup, okra soup, we have egusi soup, we have different varieties of soup. There are many. But here you see yourself eating ugali with maybe vegetables.
No, maybe it's because we don't have specific names for them, but we have meat. You can cook with meat.
Now, meat,
fish.
All those soups, there is always meat.
No, we have fish. We have like Victorian sardine or romena, as we all know it.
Yeah, but now,
we have a lot.
Those things you are calling are just things, ingredients that should be used to cook soup. And not soup themselves. But you see, what they are saying is that the ingredient itself becomes soup. Like when you have meat.
So meat is an ingredient?
Yeah, when you are cooking a soup, there should be meat inside.
Okay, so according to you, you see maybe soup, now soup is the meal, not the ingredient, the meat in it.
Yeah, because you see, you are cooking vegetable soup. That means there is a vegetable, and then you eat itself, and then you have different kind of meat that you want to use and cook it. You might decide to use fish, like we use fish to cook vegetables. It will go well with it. You might decide to use meat, beef meat, goat meat. It will go well with it.
But I see you people mixing a lot of food together, like you can put fish, meat at the same time, a lot of things.
Yes, you don't cook with different kind of thing.
For us, we can find that very disgusting.
Now, it is
Because how can you eat fish and meat anyway? I think it's a matter of culture.
It is a matter of culture, and for us, we don't just eat. You see, even fish have categories.
Oh, okay.
There are categories of fish. We have
Same
stock
in
fish.
Kenya. Yeah.
We have stock fish. So that stock fish go well with meat. You can put stock fish inside and meat. And if you are from Igbo side, you use pomo. We call it pomo. Pomo is from the goat,
Yeah.
the outer part.
Okay.
You dry it and then
That's yeah. I think I've seen.
yes. So that one also will be inside. We use crayfish inside the same soup. So when you are eating this soup, it is a combination of different kind of spices that you want to use and give the food a taste. But in Kenya, they will give you ugali, which is like fufu, and there is no soup. What you have is a meat.
But meat as soup.
And to make the matter worse, some of this meat is dry. So you are actually eating the ugali, like the way you eat rice. That's the way you eat ugali here. It's just like telling a Nigerian man to eat fufu, to just chew fufu. You know, you are chewing it.
But you can also eat that your rice plain. How do we call it? Like in Kenya, we have pilau. From your side, you call it...
We call it jollof.
Jollof rice.
Jollof rice.
So the same way we can consume pilau without maybe any stew on the side is the same way you people
Yeah,
eat
but you
jollof
see,
as well.
we have, it's the same way. That one is okay. Because you have tried to make the pilau look good in a way you have mixed it with meat and all that.
Yeah.
But if not that there is meat inside, if you cook white rice, for instance, you cook
Had a very interesting conversation with my brother here from Nigeria. We hope to bring you part 2, so you can comment down below, tell us what you want to know more about Kenya. I will be inviting different people from different nationalities as well. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And if you are coming to Kenya, just be ready for some of this culture shock.
Okay, guys. So kwaheri and much love from Kenya.
Bye.
Bye.